Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves, challenge rating 0. I am Sam, the Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hi, I'm Brian. I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth. I play Rilla Longshadow.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker, playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. When last we left our heroes, they were in kind of a tight spot. Hektor and Rilla had been buried with their bard companion Sebastian and their new merchant friend Inga Hilltopple underneath an avalanche set in the high pass of the towering mountain range known as the Gate. A avalanche triggered by a sinister band of Grimlocks that had assaulted their party. Zurabak found himself facing off alone, accompanied only by his trusty snake, in a large cavern full of 15 Grimlocks and also 20 goats. The goats that he was obsessed over, the real reason that he's in these mountains, the goats, who were locked up in a makeshift pen inside the same cave. The very last thing that happened was that after some Grimlocks were slain, after some goats were found, an enormous avalanche came down on our heroes' heads, burying them in snow. And so we begin this episode with Rilla and Hektor. Both of you start off by rolling me some fortitude saving throws as you slowly come to.
Is it against cold?
It is absolutely against cold. Actually, Hektor, you don't have to roll that at all. You're totally fine because of your magic boots. So Rilla, roll me a fortitude saving throw because Hektor's got magic, yo.
Ooh, 23.
That is a very good roll. You're totally fine.
I, the barbarian, am the one with magic. Aha!
How the tables have turned deliciously. Rilla and Hektor, you come to, and you are both absolutely buried in snow. This avalanche came down upon you swiftly and mightily, and you see nothing but white, and strangely enough, each other's faces. You guys are weirdly packed in to this giant pile of snow, sort of encased in white all around you, and the only things you can make out are like bits of your arm and bits of a leg over here, not severed, connected still. You can, feel your limbs and
Totally severed.
Corners of each other's faces. There's this weird pocket that's been made by part of the wheel of Sebastian's wagon that has blocked just enough snow for you two to be able to breathe and see, which is delightful.
I spit. Which direction does the spit go in?
That's some pro level shit. This guy knows how to survive an avalanche. That's lovely. Hektor spits using his mountaineer avalanche survival training that all gatekeepers receive. And your spit falls down the right side of your mouth, allowing you to know which way is up and which way you need to climb towards.
Okay, yeah, as soon as I know which way up is, I start digging my way towards the surface.
Yeah, Rilla, you see Hektor spit and then just start frantically digging away from where his spit fell.
Hey, Hektor, what you doing?
That way's up. Spit goes down.
Yeah,
that way's up.
That's fair. Okay.
So Hektor, you start digging your way out of this snow. You are a mighty barbarian, but much, much ice and snow has fallen upon you. Roll me a strength check to force your way out of the snow. Rilla, would you like to attempt to dig yourself out as well?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a strength check, you brawny sorceress.
It won't work well.
Probably not.
I got a 15.
Hey, I got an 11.
Okay. Those are both respectable. So you both start shifting. You start flexing your fingers and toes, trying to figure out what fucking position you're in. Rilla, one of your arms got like awkwardly pinned under your back, but you're able to sort of like wiggle it free. And you two start making some headway, just desperately clawing through snow, some of it falling onto your heads. But after a couple minutes of just this frantic digging, you're sweating, just struggling against all this snow, you finally see sky. You break through the surface of the snow. You have climbed up 2 solid feet of just straight snow climbing up, and you both get a view of the high pass, or what remains of it. There's enormous snowbanks lying around the pass. As far as you can see, this once stunted cliff that ran along the mountain is now more of a ramp of snow that just shears directly into the valley that makes up the gate. The wagons of Inga Hiltoppel and her merchant caravan are completely buried, and Sebastian Weaver's Wagon of Wonders is almost completely buried as well. His wagon was so tall that it actually shielded you two from some of the worst of this wall of snow and ice slamming against you. But this path seems totally wrecked for as far as you can see.
Okay. I start checking for survivors, looking for signs of where other people might have gotten buried. And yeah.
Fantastic. You still have your gear and like your possessions and stuff. Nothing got like knocked off of you. So you have, your stuff. But yeah, you get up. Hector, with your boots of the Winterlands, you are able to just walk on top of the snow. So you're actually pretty agile, going around looking for stuff. Rilla, would you also like to help look for survivors?
So, yeah, that's fine, I guess. I was trying to think of, like, spell things I could do that would be
Sure.
helpful.
What's up?
But they don't, like, I was thinking, like, message I could pass along to someone, but I have to be able to see them, it said, or point in their direction.
Yeah, I think you can.
I could message Sebastian and see if he's okay.
That seems pretty legit. Let's see.
Yeah, I think.
I think that like goes around corners and shit.
It says it did, but it said you have to point at the person, and I just wasn't sure if that.
You,
So, I mean,
you
I think
remember
there'd be some guesswork, but
yeah.
like if we can see where Sebastian's wagon is, then
Kind of point where the
you
front
have a
would be.
general direction to be able to start at least.
Because it says I can whisper it and get a whispered answer in return, so we can at least see if he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember roughly where Sebastian was. He was sitting on the, taking the reins of his wagon. So while the wagon is buried, you can still see the general outline of it. So yeah, you can guesstimate that if you want to throw a message spell out there. What do you say?
Say, Sebastian, if you're all right, please respond. We managed to climb to the top, spit, and go in the opposite direction that it falls.
There's silence for a little bit, and then you hear, "Am I dead? Oh, there's white everywhere, and someone's asking me to spit. Oh, this is the worst ever. Oh no. Okay, Rilla, is that you? Are we dead? No, I'm sorry. I'll spit. I'll try." You hear it through the message spell, the fledgling sounds of someone that's never spit in their life trying to spit. Patui! And there's you start to hear some scraping, and some of the snow on top of the wagon starts to shift a little bit. Hector, you head on down the line to check in these merchant wagons. So you head on down, and much to your surprise and relief, you see activity very, very quickly. So these Sebastian's wagon got covered almost entirely. Like the side facing away from the avalanche was a little clearer than the rest. These wagons, as small as they were, got almost completely covered. You can barely see like the domed tops of them, making an imprint on the snow that fell upon them. But you see, much to your surprise and relief, activity almost immediately as you make your way down the line. You see a snout, a fuzzy, cute little dog snout, pop its way out of the snow. And following it is two cute dog eyes and ears, and the rest of a dog pop out. And that dog is wearing a harness, which is lashed to another dog, which also makes its way out. And you see this happen on down the line. All of the dogs are pulling these merchant wagons, and all the dogs of the Outriders start just furiously digging their way out of the snow, standing up, shaking themselves off. And I assume you assist them when you can. Yeah. Book is... among this number popping out of the snow as well. Rutherford, for the record, is just on its back, just laying in a big snowdrift, just loving that cold. So yeah, you all start to make your way around, pulling dogs and halflings and gnomes out of the snow around you, trying to take stock of what's going on. And as you do that, all of the dogs suddenly freeze in place, and one by one they all stick their noses up in the air and start sniffing, and then they start whining. It's eerie. It happens to all of these dogs at once. The like 50-something dogs that these halflings have with them, the ones pulling their wagons and that they use as mounts to ride along, and Book as well, puts their nose in the air, sniffs, and then starts whining. And then you quickly realize why, as this horrific stench, this sour, sharp, pungent reek rolls over you as you are busy at work trying to uncover your buried allies, and you try to find the cause of it, and you see a bit of rock, a few pebbles fall from above you, seeming like the remnants of an avalanche. You look up, and on the cliffside, looking down over what used to be this mountain path, is a sheer cave entrance. There's just sticking straight out from the cliffside. It looks like it was uncovered by the fury of this avalanche, and standing in that cave mouth some 20 feet above the now snow-covered path, you see a Grimlock. This Grimlock has long hair that is tied up with bits of bone and rock and fungus, and it is wearing scraps of clothing, something akin to a dress. It's holding a wooden staff, and the front of its clothing, this like brown burlap dress, is smeared with this horrifying like neon yellow goo that has such a horrifying reek, your eyes are watering. Both of you roll me fortitude saving throws as this reek assails your nostrils and sends all the dogs in your caravan howling.
I rolled 26, which is a critical success.
Critical success.
I got a 20.
Damn.
I rolled an 18.
Beth
Fuck
got
a stench.
Beth got the good dice. Just for our listeners at home,
did.
Beth finally got her good dice, and they're
Yay.
complete, and they're treating her so good. No, well, now I've just jinxed it, haven't I?
Maybe.
You two are able to shake off the worst of this as this Grimlock, this horribly stinky Grimlock, stares down at you all and hisses and raises their staff ominously. Zurabak. We last left you in a cave. You were facing down two Grimlocks who had each already gotten a piece of you. Also in this room were 13 other Grimlocks, all sort of milling around, waiting to, it seems, ambush the rest of your party. their attention now focused on you as the sole opponent in their midst. Also in this enormous cave that you find yourself in, staffed with all these Grimlocks, are 20 goats in a shitty makeshift pen. It's some crappy wooden boards that are propped up against some stalagmites. Ooh, that was a close one, you guys. Oof. When the avalanche came, even though you were inside of a cave, you felt it. You were aware of it. Roll me a balance check to stay on your feet, because the ceiling and floor beneath you rumbled mightily, throwing many of these Grimlocks on their asses.
16.
Yeah, 16's good enough to stay on your feet. The cave is rocking and rolling, but you're able to stay on your feet, stay upright. The Grimlocks around you all fall on they all fall on their asses. These Grimlocks, almost to a man or woman, it's hard to tell with Grimlocks, they all fall on their asses as the mountain shakes around them. And also, the goat pen, a big rock falls from the ceiling, smashing into one of these boards holding in these goats, and destroys part of the goat pen, leaving an opening for these goats. Now, considering that it's a new episode and everyone else fall on their butts, we're just going to roll initiative again because this is a new encounter. Also, don't remember what the initiative was.
I mean,
So
couldn't we
it's
look
you-
back at the episode and
figure
it out?
I tell you what the initiative was. It was you, and then it was the Grimlocks, and then it was you again. That's the great thing about you being by yourself and having a bottle episode is the initiative is you and then Grimlocks, then you and then Grimlocks. So let's just roll initiative real quick just to see if it's you or the Grimlocks first. Okay, what'd you get?
I got a 15, and Snake got a 18.
Okay, that's very good. And the Grimlocks got a very bad number. They got a very bad number. So Snake's going to go first. So to set the scene again, there's two Grimlocks that were just stabbing the hell out of you. They're prone before you, two of them, right next to you. There are 13...
How's Snake doing in the snow, being a reptile?
He has share spells,
Okay.
so I cast Endure Elements yesterday
Yep.
before we went to sleep, so he's fine.
He's absolutely chilling. He already has share spells?
Yeah, he starts with that.
That's the dopest
He gets
shit.
evasion next level.
Oh my god, that's the dopest shit ever. Every time you heal yourself, you just heal... Oh, man. It's almost like they're designed to be really good, huh? Sorry. Anyway, so what does Snake do? There's two Grimlocks right in front of you. There's a pen full of goats that's just been broken open, and boy, these goats do not look happy. They look panicked and pissed. But yeah, what does Snake do?
Well, I'm going to inform him to bite one of the Grimlocks.
That sounds like a plan. He's going to, I assume, do that because you're a druid and you just have him do it.
Yeah, I have enough handle animal that I don't have to roll for that anymore.
Sounds like a plan. So Snake is going to roll an attack roll and try to bite one of these Grimlocks.
19?
19's absolutely going to do it. So Snake...
You want to roll me a fortitude save versus poison then?
Oh, I sure do. I rolled a critical 1. Poisoned as hell. So your poisonous viper slithers down... What? Out of his bag? Is he he keep in a bag, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your poisonous viper slithers out of the bag you keep him in and lashes out at one of these Grimlocks, sinking its poisonous venom-laced fangs into the Grimlock's flesh. The Grimlock screams out in pain and is obviously poisoned, so what's the damage?
He does 1d4 minus 1 damage, which comes out to 1, because I rolled a 1, and it can't be lower than 1.
Fantastic. Minimum damage of 1. Awesome.
And 4 constitution.
Holy shucks!
And that'll be again in a minute.
Yeah,
Though I don't think he'll live that long.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, this Grimlock looks sickly and weathered. It starts like freaking out that the snake bit him because Grimlocks don't know about no snakes. Yeah, so your snake lashes out and bites him. It's like, rah! Just shrieking, holding its poisoned leg as its veins start to blacken around this poisonous wound. That makes it your turn.
I stab him, the one that got bit.
Cool. Just stacking up.
Yeah. 18 to hit.
18's definitely going to hit that prone Grimlock. You grab your spear, step forward, and just confidently, almost casually place it inside this Grimlock's torso.
8 plus 7.
Whoa, 15 points of damage. That's a dead Grimlock, homie. Yeah, so that's great. You throw, Snake, I choose you. You throw your serpent at this Grimlock. It bites its thigh, pumping poison into its body, and then you just step up and put him out of his misery, slaughtering him while he's lying on his back helpless. Yeah, you dispatch him. The light goes out of his... Just kidding. They don't have eyes. The light goes out of his, I don't know,
Mouth?
his nose. Yeah. Light goes...
Space where eyes should be.
The light goes out of the fleshy mounds that should house eyes but don't. It's super gross.
I wonder if I cut there, will there be eyes underneath?
Who's to even say? Who's to say? Probably me, if you did it. I hope you don't.
Who knows? It may come up.
So that makes it the Grimlock's turn. These Grimlocks are all going to start trying to collect themselves, groaningly pulling themselves off the stone floor of this cavern and picking up their weapons to address the enemy in their midst. Just as they do that, one of the Grimlocks closest to you grabs its axe and stands up and starts to move in your direction. And out of nowhere, one of the stout, furry, aggressive, spiral-horned goats of the Gatekeeper clan rushes into its side and just slams the shit out of it, bashing it with its sharp horns and throwing this Grimlock to the ground. And all of the other goats in this enclosure follow suit, pouring out of the opening in this cave and just in a panic because they are in a cave that just shook itself to death and they're surrounded by horrible monsters. Just start throwing themselves at anything close. So these Grimlocks stand up and start coming at you, but then all of the goats just go apeshit and throwing themselves at all these Grimlocks in a fury of goat rage, and they are busy for the moment. It is the one closest to you. The other one on the ground right in front of you does stand up and does try to swing at you with its axe. It got it's a 13 hit your armor class.
Yep.
You guys are the worst with armor class I've ever come across. It's terrible. You take 4 points of damage.
I have no dexterity.
Yep.
4.
4 points of damage from a Grimlock's axe, biting into your flesh. That makes it your turn, sir. There's now...
You mean Snake's turn?
It is, yes, Snake's turn. Yes. It is now Snake's turn. There's a goat frenzy going on. The Grimlock right in front of you is lashing out. What do you do?
Tell Snake to bite that one.
Okay.
Where the fudge did it go there? 15 to hit.
15 absolutely hits this Grimlock. Your snake lashes out and takes another bite out of crime.
3 points of strength damage, and would you like to roll a fortitude save versus poison?
You mean 3 points of damage, and then I roll it versus poison?
Yeah.
Because you said strength damage, and that'd be
Oh.
gnarly.
Sorry, last campaign.
Yeah, old campaigns, yeah. It got a 2 on its saving throw. It does not
That
make
does not beat
saving
that
throw.
11.
No, it does not.
6.
Oh, 6 con damage?
Yeah.
Okay. This thing visibly withers in front of you. Yeah, your snake lashes out and bites this thing right on the neck. It just slithers up up its form and bites it right on the side of the neck. And this thing shrieks in pain, hunches over, like almost throws up. It is sickened by this horrible poison. That makes it your turn.
I'm going to take a 5-foot step back and cast my last spell, the heal, on myself.
Okay, so you take a 5-foot step backwards and you cast Cure Light Wounds on yourself, sealing up your injuries with divine magic. What do you
for
get?
10.
Nice! Very, very good. So you restore 10 health points to yourself, calling on the power of the wild places to mend your wounds. These horrible Grimlock axe wounds start to stitch themselves closed as you take a breather. That makes it the Grimlock's turn, and they are getting their asses beat by all of these goats. There are 20 of these goats in here, and they're just going buck. They are kicking, they are jumping from rock to rock, slamming their giant spiral horns into these Grimlocks, doubling them over. They're like tag teaming some of them.
See, Zurabak knew the goats were good for it.
Yeah, it's the craziest shit you've ever seen. You're really getting an appreciation for goats. And that is the goats and Grimlock's turn. We're going to go back to Rilla and Hektor. You see 20 feet above you, out of a cave mouth that appeared after this avalanche and the sheer rock wall above you, this Grimlock, dressed in clothing with this horrible, stinky stuff smeared on it. At this point, about half of the halflings have dug themselves out of the snow in the caravan. Sebastian pokes his head out of the snow he's trapped in, and then sees the Grimlock, and then stuffs himself back in to the holy maid in the snow. Is like, oh no, not this one, not for me, thanks. What do you two do?
I am going to run up and start trying to climb up.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it.
Fantastic. Well, since we're going with the aggressive route, let's just go ahead and roll initiative real quick. I should have known. Yep.
Words aren't for our people.
No, they're not. Hector, what'd you get?
I rolled a 1, so that's 2 on my initiative.
Okay. And then Rilla, what'd you get?
I rolled a 19, so that's a 22 on my initiative.
Damn, Rilla.
We both rolled 2. You just rolled it twice.
Okay, the
I
Grimlock
miss these dice.
also rolled a 1. And yes, it's bad. Oh no, I told you what they got. Oh no. All right, so Rilla Longshadow.
What, are you saying it has a higher dex bonus than me?
No, it got 1 altogether done 1. It got 1. It got absolute 1.
I assume they have a negative initiative because they're blind.
You can assume all kinds of stuff about Grimlocks. They're cool that way. So this Grimlock starts ominously raising its staff, staring down at all of you, speaking in its native tongue of Grimlock. And as soon as you see it, Rilla Longshadow just grabs up her bow and fucking shoots.
How far away am I?
You're like 40 feet all told from this thing.
Okay, so no extra damage. All right. I got a 14.
14's going to be enough to hit this thing.
Excellent. It does 6 points of damage.
Damn. All right. So you knock an arrow, draw, and fire. Your arrow cuts through the chill mountain air and finds purchase right in the torso of this Grimlock. You put your arrow right in its spleen, right in its flank, and it doubles over in pain, grabbing the arrow now protruding from its body, and shrieks this high-pitched squeal, and then starts grasping its staff in both hands. Hektor, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates, it's your turn.
I climb the side of the cliff. I run up and start climbing the cliff.
Fantastic. Roll me a climb check to climb the side of the cliff as you rush up to the cliff wall and start climbing.
That is 20.
That is very good. That's very good. Your movement speed's 40 because you're a barbarian, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you do a double move, you can get up into the cave next to this Grimlock.
Okay, that is what I do.
Cool. So Hektor rushes forward, just absolute CrossFit, just free climbing, no ropes, just gripping this rock wall with his brawny gatekeeper
now you
fingers.
see, this is not following proper safety procedures, but sometimes one must...
Is this the best time to lecture us on safely climbing a rock
Yes.
wall?
There's
Yes, it
never
is.
a bad time to lecture on the safety of rock climbing.
So Hektor, as you get up into this cave, this mysterious Grimlock with this horrible stinky goo on the front of their clothing backs up a little bit at your advance, and you make your way up into this cave mouth, standing right next to this creature, and you hear, as soon as you get into this, you hear the sounds of distant combat. You hear the clatter of weapons against stone. You hear the shuffling of feet. You hear Grimlock shrieks, and you also hear meh, meh, echoing down the halls.
We have no idea what that could be.
It might be goats.
Probably goats.
You grew up around goats. You know goats. These are gatekeeper goats. That's canon.
As of like 10 minutes ago.
Who's the gatekeeper, goat keeper?
I guess we're gonna have to write that fiction together, Brian.
One of your many siblings, perhaps?
Oh no, I hope he wears a goat hat.
So
You
yeah.
mean-
You
Skull?
hope that he killed
Yeah.
a
You mean a
goat
skull,
and wears
okay.
it?
What?
You hope that he killed a goat and wears it?
It died of old age, so it's got really big ass horns.
Okay. Anyway, that was my turn. Thank you.
You're welcome. This Grimlock.
I want a goat hat now.
This Grimlock sniffs the air and obviously picks up on your scent as you get right next to it, right up in its face. It cocks its head to the side and
That's
sniffs.
the smell of justice.
Oh, boy. Oh, Boise. Okay. That's where we're at today, folks. Loving every minute of it. It's... Holy shit.
Probably smells like a lot like sweat.
Justice often smells a lot like sweat. Yes.
What it is going to do is it is going to attempt to cast a spell. And it is going to roll a concentration check to try to cast it without losing it, which it just barely got. Holy shit. So this Grimlock, holding its staff in its hands, it's strange, like gnarled wooden staff, sniffs the air to pinpoint your location, and then reaching out with uncanny precision, tries to lash out at you with one of its hands. With it's got these bony fingers with these long, like almost talon fingernails, and it tries to lash out at you to lay a hand upon your gatekeeper form. I got a 14 on a touch attack. Does that hit your touch armor class?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So,
My touch armor class is the same as my regular armor class, but it still hits that.
Hey, what is it? Can I roll my spellcraft check yet? Or
you...
did you-
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
18.
Damn, that's really good on a spellcraft check. You are absolutely able to identify this spell as soon as the Grimlock starts casting it. You are able to determine that it is casting Inflict. Inflict Light Wounds.
Ouch.
Yeah, Inflict Light Wounds is a spell, of course, Rilla, you know from your arcane study.
What study? It's innate.
From your... Let me rephrase that. From your arcane experimentation.
There you go.
As you
That
know,
just makes it sound kinky.
if you're a perv, it does, perv. You're the perv. From your arcane, I don't know, from your times with magic, you know. Fuck you, Parker. God, you've ruined it now.
That's what I do. I ruin things.
Really, you know, this is a spell that is used to channel negative energy from the void itself and use it to harm people. So, Hector, what you see in real time right in front of your face is this Grimlock hold up a hand. It swirls with jet black energy, and it reaches out and touches you, and this energy flows into your body. Let me see. And sorry, I'm just trying to see. Yeah, roll a will saving throw.
A will save?
A will save against Inflict. It's coming after your brain, I guess.
19.
Fantastic. So you are only going to take half damage from this spell.
No, thank you. I already ate.
Let's see. So that's going to be 3 points of damage. 3 points of negative energy damage.
Dope. I forgot that I was at about half after fighting some Grimlocks last time.
Yep.
And I climbed the cliff to fight them directly. And anyway, that's where we're at. Okay.
Yeah. So As Hector throws
That's
himself...
why I cast a heal spell.
Yeah. As Hector throws himself heroically right into the path of this Grimlock, the Grimlock lashes out with a gnarled, clawed hand and places it upon your chest, right in that deep V, and channels some negative energy into your chest, and you feel this horrible wave of blackness come over you. You're able to fight off some of the worst effects, but it is definitely painful. It's definitely not fun. That's the Grimlock's turn. It's going to bring us back to Rilla. Rilla Longshadow, it's your turn. Hector is standing right next to this Grimlock, who has just hit him with some bad magic. What would you like to do?
He's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna shoot.
Okay.
He's fine. He's totally fine. He's on the ground dying. He's fine.
13.
13, unfortunately, is not quite enough to hit this creature. You are very, very close. You fire an arrow, and it zips directly between the Grimlock's face and Hector's face. Right between them. Hector, you get a nice arrow going right past your eyeballs. You feel the fletching tickle your cheek as Rilla tries to shoot this creature. Unfortunately, that's a miss. You still haven't moved. You want to do anything or just stay where you're at?
No, I'm good here.
Cool. Good here. Hector, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I grab my maul and I swing it.
That sounds like a Hector move. Hector, the Splatmancer, grabs his two-handed maul, rears back and swings it at the Grimlock.
That's a 14.
A 14 is going to hit this creature. For those following along at home, we've just found its armor class. Yes. I shouldn't talk like that. For the listeners, it's bad. Yes.
For us, it's a little bad too.
You're not wearing the headphones. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm just sitting directly across from you.
Look, just because I'm making eye contact when I do it, you don't have to be freaked out. Yeah.
11 points of damage.
Holy crow. That is a lot of damage. Barbarian.
Big stick. I swing a big stick at her face till she doesn't have one.
So yeah, Hector the Gatekeeper, you draw your maul from your back and you swing and just smash this Grimlock. They are reeled backwards. They smash against the rock wall behind them as you drive them backwards with your hammer. They crumple a little bit, it seems, before they get their feet back under them again, and they grip onto the staff and look at you and say in common this time, "The Hidden Ones have given us power to destroy all of you lowlanders. You cannot win. The Hidden Ones are with us." And it's going to reach out a hand again, channeling this jet black energy to try to harm you with another inflict spell. It is going to roll a concentration check to try to not get hit. Because, again, kids, we're playing version 3.5, and 3.5 casting spells, people get a free hit on you. Don't worry about it. We got your back. And it does not get the concentration check this time.
So you
do get an attack of opportunity. No, wait.
No,
cast defensively. It wasted the spell. You don't
Okay.
get the free hit. Yep. That's how that works. Thank you, Parker. So this creature tries once again to throw the spell at you. It's wily, trying to keep an eye on its defense, and as it reaches out to touch you with this horrible negative energy effect, you are able to swing at it to keep it at bay. It backs up out of the range of your attack and loses the spell, but you don't make contact with it. As this happens, you feel a strange rush of air in front of your face. You feel just this weird presence, and roll me a listen check real quick.
Ooh, 21.
Oh, goddamn. All right.
I rolled a 19 on the dice.
So, Hector, you feel, that's very good and necessary for this. So, Hector, you feel this rush of wind against your face as you go toe-to-toe with this Grimlock in this cave, with Rilla providing some cover fire, and you hear footsteps. You hear footsteps run directly between you and this Grimlock that you're fighting. And this strange rush of air as if someone were running between you two. Then you hear nothing. Rilla, roll me a spot check real quick.
11.
No, it's not that difficult to see. You see, all you needed was a 10. You see footprints form seemingly out of nowhere in the snow in front of you. As if something you can't see is standing in the snow. It comes directly from the direction of the cave.
You definitely hear me yelp when I see that.
You are, from your lofty vantage point, they're a little hard to see against all the other snow. But yeah, Rilla points that out, sure. Yeah. It's like, but yeah, so you hear pop, 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 and then nothing. You feel this rush of wind in front of your face, and then thump, you see these footprints form in the snow.
Rilla, that's an invisible thing, and it easily survived a 20-foot jump down, so...
Kill it, kill it, kill it. Got it.
Okay.
Well, let me finish. Come on.
No.
You see 3 of these footsteps form in the snow.
Oh, fuck.
You see 3 of these footsteps form in the snow, and
Hector,
then
I need you.
and then they are coming directly towards you, and then they disappear.
Oh, fuck me.
Now, Rilla, it's
Okay.
your turn. Now it's your turn.
Try spitting again.
Spitting with arrows.
You can throw a fucking snowball. Huh? There's a bunch of stuff you can do.
Got a can of red paint.
Do not
Here,
have a
if you
king.
squint, you can see invisible things.
Cast
how that
Featherfall and
works?
throw myself off the thing. I love that Hector's just like, Rilla, that's an invisible person. Duh. It's like, it's pretty good
the
stuff.
Footprints
Yeah.
kind of give that one away. This is going to be real bad. I just cast Mage Armor myself.
That's a solid call.
Like, oh, no.
Yep. And what's that, total defense or whatever? Can I do that too? No, I use my action. Never mind.
Yes.
Never mind.
So Rilla Longshadow pulls upon her sorceress abilities and weaves around her an arcane barrier, reflecting a suit of armor that shimmers gold for a second and then disappears, right?
Yep.
Cool. Then it is Hector's turn. Hector the Gatekeeper, you just felt some thing that you can't see brush past you and throw itself out into the snow. It made 3 footprints. Footprints disappeared, and the Grimlock in front of you now looks a little like spooked. It looks a little freaked out. It definitely noticed the thing that moved between you. It's like sniffing the air outside of the mouth of the cave, and it looks almost like disappointed. What do you do?
I use my wand of smashing to cast my own inflict wounds.
Fantastic. Lovely.
That's my maul.
Yes.
For those listening at home.
Yes, it's very well put. I think we all enjoyed that. Roll an attack roll.
Does a 19 hit this
Oh,
vile beast?
oh boy, you bet it does.
14 points of damage.
Oh my lord. That's a lot. That's a lot. You bring your maul down and you nearly break this poor Grimlock in half. You bring it to its knees. It buckles under the weight of your enormous weapon. And you cripple it. You hear bones snapping and shattering, cartilage tearing, and you drive it to its knees. With your incredible barbarian might and the weight of your weapon. As you do so, it's now the Grimlock's turn, unless you're going to move. It's still barely alive.
Okay.
But it's very, very, very fucked up. That was all an elaborate narrative way to say it's still alive, but it's very, very fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you drive it to its knees, and it looks up at you and says, "The Hidden Ones... They've left us. Why would they leave?" And even though you've just like shattered this thing's body, it's this Grimlock still looking out the cave at like the footprints in the snow.
Sniffing out the cave, maybe?
Sniffing. Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Facing outward with its face that has no eyes out of the cave mouth. Yeah, sniffing the air. The Hidden Ones, they've left us. Why would you abandon us? They promised us power if we brought down the mountain. What? All is lost.
Just in a direct response to that spiel, I'm just going to, in like Rilla's general direction, it's like, hold a minute before you shoot this one again, please.
Yeah, no, I'm more freaked out by the invisible things down here.
Fair. Just thought it needed to be said.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk to this thing, house rules are talking's a free action. Takes no time. If you want to get a dialogue going, you can do that whenever you want. Did you want to say some things to this Grimlock, or did you want to just kill it yourself? Hold on, we might be able to get some information out of it. Just kill steal. Hold your weapons, friends. Blam!
Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't... Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't information. That was blood. I get those two confused a lot. No. Tell me about these hidden ones.
They came to us. They promised us their power. They gave us their power. Some of it, and they told us if we showed them how to bring down the mountain, we would have the strength to destroy you, to use the death, use the darkness to kill all of you lowlanders. I lead this tribe. I lead these warriors. I am the strongest of us now, and I was going to, but they've left. I can smell them no more.
Who were they? What were they?
They were the hidden ones. They came like dreams in the night. We could only smell them, and even that just barely. They promised us the blood of you lowlanders. If we brought down the mountain for them, we showed them the ways to do it. They wanted to end the pass, plug up the pass. In exchange, they gave us their power.
But I guess that was just briefly, huh?
We'll still eat the flesh from your bones, lowlander! And it's going to try to swing at you with a knife.
Okay.
Because it's still its turn. But thank you for allowing me that lore dump. That was very important. I didn't think any of you were going to let me get to it, and thank you.
I wasn't.
No, you weren't, which is why I had to give it to them. I know who my fucking players are. I can't give you a lore dump. You get a goat party. Congratulations.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, king of the goats. Copyright TM.
But my family.
What?
But my family. I have to protect my family.
They're
and
my
community.
Oh,
goats now.
Indeed. This Grimlock, taking advantage of the fact that you're speaking to it, this chieftain of the Grimlocks takes out a stone knife and tries to slash at you while you're trying to converse with it. Does a 10 hit your armor class, Hector?
10 does not hit my armor class.
It misses. And that is going to do it for you all. We're going to switch back to Zurabak. Zurabak, it's buck wild in the cave you're in. There's goats going everywhere. You're bleeding along with them. There's one Grimlock alive in front of you, badly poisoned by your snake. It's Snake's turn. What would you like to do?
Snake will continue to bite that one because he started it. It's his fault. Does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit this Grimlock. I'm going to go ahead and roll that saving throw for the poison. I did not get it. I got a 5.
He bites him for 2 points of damage.
Good lord.
And 5 points of constitution damage.
Okay, that Grimlock dies from poison. It dies from poison is what happens. Good lord.
I mean, it's a low DC, but it's a
potent, yeah.
high number.
Your venomous viper snake lashes out and stabs its poison-laced fangs into this Grimlock another time, and this time the poison's just too powerful. This Grimlock goes stock still, its body paralyzed by the horrible toxins flowing through it, and it collapses, foaming at the mouth. Zurabak, that makes it your turn. The scene is there are now about 10 Grimlocks left. A couple of them have actually been rammed to death by some of these goats, which are, you're noticing, surprisingly agile creatures. Very tough, and these horns are nothing to fuck with. They are sharp and spiraled. It is your turn. Do you have any druid stuff to do with these goats, or what are you going to do?
Stab the closest Grimlock.
Fantastic. You're just going to wage war along with them?
Yes.
Fantastic. You march your way forward. There's one not 10 feet from you. It is currently doubled over in pain, having just been rammed in the groin by a goat. Go ahead and roll that attack roll.
I don't suppose a 10 hits.
A 10, unfortunately, is not going to do it this time. You do lash out with your spear at this doubled over Grimlock, and even though you are flanking, unfortunately, it's just not quite enough. Your spear goes wide as it sees you coming between its legs behind it and spins around at the last moment to intercept your blow, blocking your attack with its axe. But you've now distracted it for the goat behind it, which rams its horns directly into this Grimlock's body and just throws it to the side. So Grimlock has been dispatched. The rest of the Grimlocks start running. They start running away from all of these goats deeper into the cave complex that this particular cavern is connected to. They all just start running. There's about 9 of them left at this point, and the goats, the gatekeeper goats, to their credit, do not chase them. They all kind of calm down. One of them sort of like scrapes the stone underneath its feet at them, like it's wiping its feet in their direction, and they all stop and they all look at you simultaneously, every one of these goats.
And I look back at them and I roll a wild empathy.
It's a good call.
Which, if I remember correctly, is my D20 plus druid level and something.
Charisma?
I think it's charisma.
Probably.
I do not remember.
So Zurabak takes a look at all these fierce and powerful goat... I was going to say goat creatures. They are goats. They're just very good goats. Boy, what a zany time. I tell you. Goat attacks. What'd you get on your wild empathy?
15.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. So you, Zurabak, once again faced with a group of strange animals. You look them all in the eye at the same time. It's very strange. You grow a bunch of extra eyes. No, you give the room a good sweep, and you calm yourself internally. The power of the wild channeling that into your body, and you calm these goats down. They all chill. You totally change the vibe of this entire cavern, and everyone, all of these goats just kind of calm down and just peacefully just meh, meh.
Mandy.
Yeah, so the rest of the Grimlocks have run away. You are looking at this large cavern. The entrance that you came into has been covered with snow. It is now a small cave mouth that is just a wall of white. It shouldn't be too terribly hard to dig through, but that's the way out. What would you like to do?
Digging out seems like the appropriate response.
Okay. You start making your way over to the snow and digging out. The goats all line up behind you, expectantly waiting for you to bring them their freedom. And since there's no other threats, yeah, you just start clawing your way out of there. It's totally fine. Cool. Back to Hektor and Rilla. Rilla, it is your turn. You just saw this Grimlock give Hektor a nice little lore dump and tell him all about the hidden ones that came in to make them bring the mountain down. And you saw some footprints in the snow in front of you that disappeared after about 3 steps. It is your turn.
Were they coming towards me?
They were coming towards you, and then they disappeared.
But they haven't attacked.
Nothing's come at you yet. So far. Sorry. Let me be a good dungeon master. Nothing's come at you. You can't put yet on there. It's expectations.
Yeah. For when they get attacked.
You're not dead yet.
Still breathing. Yet.
Still yet breathing yet. Still yet.
So my thought right now is I want to see if anything's in front of me.
Okay.
Like the invisible shit. Well, what I was thinking about was casting dancing lights and kind of shooting them forward to see if they hit anything, but I don't know what happens if they impact like a solid
Well,
object.
dancing lights can't go through solid objects.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't cast dancing lights through a rock wall. So, so you're going to make a string of 4 dancing lights, 1 in each square, 4 squares across, and just send this line of lights forward. I dig that a lot. That's a very inventive use of this spell. I dig that a great deal. So yeah, you cast dancing lights, one of your cantrips, and you make 4 torch-sized balls of light that you string out with not enough space between them to sneak through, and you just shoot them forward.
Yep.
Cool. You do a nice sweep with your arcane spotlights, and they travel forward over the snow.
Yeah, they got quite a distance.
Yes, yeah, they do. I love dancing lights. It's one of my favorite fucking spells of all time.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're great. So yeah, you sweep them forward over the snow, the bright white of the snow reflecting this color back at you in vibrant, bright hues, and this bar of light sweeps forward and is unbroken. It goes forward over the 3 footprints that are coming at you, doesn't stop, doesn't hit, doesn't bump into anything.
Okay. I shout up at Hector. Either they jumped over me or they vanished. There's nothing in front of me that I can find.
They're the hidden ones.
Yeah.
They hid.
Yep.
Hector, that would make it your turn.
So yeah, as she swings a knife at me and misses, I just look down at her a little bit sorrowfully and just...
Right.
I might have shown you mercy. And then I hit her.
I'll take no mercy from the lowlander.
16.
Yeah, it's going to cut her off right there in her sentence. Go ahead and roll damage.
15 points of
Yeah,
damage.
that's going to put her out. It's going to put her right out of her misery. We'll never accept mercy from the lowlander. Splat. Loud, powerful splat. How do you kill her?
We're standing at the edge of a cliff. I bat her up.
Yep. You swing your maul, and she makes that lovely V shape that people make when you hit them dead center with your maul, and she flies out of the cave, and because of the lovely slope that this avalanche made of what was a path, she tumbles over the cliff and just all the way down, tumbling, smacking into stones, rolling her way all the way down to the bottom of the valley. Well, no, she doesn't. Because she's dead when you throw her out of there. But it's very good. She dies
Does Hector make that noise for her?
She dies like a Disney villain. By which I mean Gaston or that hunter from Tarzan.
Is there anything Gaston can't do? Fly.
No one dies like Gaston. The look on his face. Boy, you guys remember the look on Gaston's face when he died?
Yes, it was great.
It's pretty good. Sorry. That's grim. So.
Yeah, we're not dealing with grim. Just grim locks.
Grimlocks. So, Hector, you dispatch this chiefess, this female chieftain of the tribe of Grimlocks, who goes flying out over the mountain range and falling, or mountain pass, and falling down to her doom. Rilla, you continue your scan of the area, sweeping your dancing lights, I assume,
Yep.
carefully over everything around you. Very good use of that spell, by the way. I've never seen anyone use it like that before. That's actually pretty cool.
Maybe he can just limbo real good.
Maybe. Who's to say? You painstakingly sweep this line of lights over everything, and it's uninterrupted. You don't see anything. You can also roll some listen checks if you want to.
Sure. Sure.
Try to pick up the sounds of anything moving or anything like that.
No, that's a no. I rolled a 5.
Yeah, you don't hear fuck all.
Yeah, it's a 7 total.
Hector, roll me a listen check up there in the cave real quick.
That's a 1 on the dice, which means the grand total is 3.
You hear bleating of goats. You hear goat bleating. And for me, just for us to know, it is Zurabak. You could swear it's a goat, like an actual goat, but it is Zurabak, and we know that, but you don't. So you also hear a bunch of like Grimlocks screaming, because that's real easy to hear from where you're at. Smash,
So-
what's up?
I was just going to say,
What would you like to do?
Rilla, let me know if you find the hidden ones. I'm going to check out what's going on deeper in this cave, and then I go into the
No,
cave
yeah, I love
deeper.
that. Leave me out here with like 3 invisible, terrifying things. You know, the sorcerer. I can totally handle it.
Do not worry, young one. My daughters, Helga and Olga, are more than capable of defending us, alongside your great skills, of course, says Inga as she pulls herself out of some fucking snow. It's like, she brushes off her
She's
dress.
been there the entire time.
She brushes off
She's
her
the hidden
dress and sets her bun back into place, pulling some stray gray hairs into places. That was rather unpleasant.
Yeah.
Is your small bard all right?
He is digging his way out.
Oh, I dug my way out several minutes ago. I just
right. Excellent.
didn't want to be out. That's
Yeah.
all. Didn't want to be out for that part. How is everyone? I'm hello, I'm here again. How is everyone?
So I could look at those those footprints.
Cool. Yep.
Cool. Okay.
They are typical like booted footprints. You can see there's a heel impression in them. They're, it looks like fairly standard boots. They are, you like hold your foot up for comparison. They look like smaller size, not tiny size. Maybe, you could guess female boots. You're not exactly sure. They're boots. Small, moderately small size boot prints. Not halfling small, but that's all you get. And there's a rune stamped into them, which is no, you can't. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lock of hair which belongs to a dragon. So no, that's not in there either. I'm gonna stop doing this game. It's not fun. Yeah,
I don't
right?
think it's the dragon's hair. I think it's a lock from a princess he plucked.
Oh no, it's dragon hair, and I'll let you think of where that would grow.
The luck dragon had some fur, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, that depends on what flavor dragon
Yeah.
we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Falcor had
was basically a dragon dog.
Falcor had a lot of shit going on, didn't he? There's a lot of shit going on with Falcor. I don't know if I'd want that, like, Final Fantasy summon. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird. That's a lot of weird stuff to bring to the table. Are you a Chinese dragon? Are you just a dog? I don't know what's going on with you, man. Anyway, Hector, you go deeper into the cave complex.
You have to go deeper.
You.
Bringing it back to Inception.
Oh, that's an in-joke that none of the listeners will at all get. That's just for us, which I love. Don't explain it. Moving on. Brian.
We can explain it on the Patreon.
Oh, yeah, we got a Patreon. Damn it, Parker, you let it slip. Yeah, we got a Patreon. Well, we have some we'll save this to the end. What are you doing? We'll talk about the Patreon later. But we have one. It's Challenge Rating 0. Oh, God. So, Hector, you make your way deeper into this cave complex, and you hear echoing far, far farther down the cave, like real deep into the mountain, the echoes of Grimlocks screaming in terror and rushing. You head deeper into this cavern. Eventually, it opens up into a large cave with what looks like the remnants of some like pen. It reeks of goats in here. It just reeks of like goat droppings. And you see there's a handful of dead Grimlocks. Some of them look like they've been bashed to death by some goats. There's definitely some gore wounds, and a couple of the ones closer to you see a cave on the side, a cave entrance leading out onto the remnants of the high pass, and you see the tail end of a line of goats just filing out of this cave. What do you do?
I follow them
Yeah.
because Zurabak's been here.
How can you even tell? The poisoned Grimlocks with snake bites on them?
You mean like, well, that and how these goats are leaving in an orderly fashion, like somebody who has an incredibly vested interest in them is leading them. Somebody who prides themselves on being the monarch of various small groups of animals.
The goat savior? The great liberator of the goat people? No, they're not goat people. I cannot stress that enough. This is Dungeons & Dragons. They're not goat people. They're just goats.
They're people in my eyes.
Okay, well, you're going to be shitty about it. You follow suit after this orderly line of goats, and you see Zurabak at the head of it, of course. Zurabak has, at this point, Zurabak, you have carved a hole through this snow out into the remnants of the pass, which is now like a snowy slope precariously going down toward the mountain range. You've dug your way through to the top of this bank of snow, and you hear from behind you,
Hey, Zurabak!
Goats learn to talk? No.
you look back and you see Hector's beaming face.
Found the goats.
That's lovely. I'm very happy for you.
They're everything they were meant to be.
Meh.
Yes. Meh.
Well, the other survivors of the avalanche are on actually the opposite side of this cave here. So, we fought somebody who said they were the leader of the Grimlocks. Something about some hidden ones. There might be some invisible people running around causing avalanches for reasons. So, wanna come on back.
I look at the hole I dug, and I sigh real deeply.
I would like it if this is where you just kind of ended the campaigns. You have your goats. You live in the
Oh
mountains.
my God.
Yeah, I'm a goat shepherd now.
Jesus
Bye,
Christ.
guys.
Yeah, what episode? This is going to be episode 13.
His story's done.
Yeah, 13 episodes in. Yeah, it's like that point at the end of every, like, we go to an alternate dimension movie where it's like, I'm going to stay here. I got a whole life here now. This is just, you guys go back. We're 13 episodes in. This is the second big, like, quest. Like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to stay here. You guys keep going. What? These goats need me, man. I got a life here now.
I like to think that at the very least, this is what flashes through Zurabak's mind.
Yes. While you're looking at Hector's beaming, beautiful face, it's like, I could just stay here forever.
No one would bother me. There'd be goats. I'd kill Grimlocks.
Dude.
Yeah, that's I don't like it when you make those noises while you're looking at me, Zurabak. You wanna come on back? Come on. Sure. We could use some help. Seems like you're good at digging through snow. Nice hole you've made here. You need some of that skill. Those goats might even come in handy. So, all right, I'm gonna go back.
Hector vamps at you for a little bit and then realizes what he's doing and stops and turns around and goes back. Does Zurabak follow him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you bring all the goats?
Of course.
Of course you do. So, Hector and Zurabak and all the goats make their way through this cave structure back to this cave mouth that was 20 feet above the path where you guys ended up. You guys make your way back through, and while they are making this little trip, Inga says to you, Rilla, so, that was a harrowing experience. I am used to a variety of environments, the frozen tundra up north of the Shatterbark Wood. We are used to things like this, but avalanches is dreadful. It's terrible. I don't know how we're going to dig ourselves out of this.
Yeah, this is my first proper experience with, what's it called again? Snow?
Oh dear, yes,
Yeah.
yes, snow, yes. Interesting.
Pretty horrifying.
I forget it never snows in the Springvale Forest, does it? Mm-hmm. Yes, it's beautiful to look at, terrible to move through, and, well, you can ball it up and throw it at people. That's always fun.
I try it.
It's very good. Mm-hmm. With your elven accuracy, oh my god, you fucking... Who do you throw it at? That's the real question.
It is. I feel like it should be her. She did kind of tell me.
Yeah, you ball up a snowball and you throw it at Inga, and she looks down at her dress where you threw the snowball, and she looks back up at you and she says, "All right, now it is on." And she dives down and starts balling up some snow. Helga and Olga start doing the same. Sebastian gets up and starts balling up some snow. Hector and Zurabak, by the time you get back to your wagon train, half of the hilltopples are uncovering the wagons. The other half are an epic fucking snowball fight. Rilla is just dishing it out. She's getting tagged a couple times. Inga's got some fucking moves, man. She's spry for her old age.
I am delighted.
Yeah. There's some. It's a lovely bit of lighthearted revelry after this horrible thing that's happened. It seems like everyone is alive. There's a couple,
Except the Grimlocks.
yeah, except the Grimlocks. There's a couple scrapes and bruises you find as everyone starts pulling themselves out. But yeah, you guys have just this lovely epic snowball fight to sort of break the tension. And yeah, Inga's got some fucking moves, man. She's spry as hell. She's running around, throwing snowballs, dodging other ones. And yeah, that's what you guys come upon.
I jump down and join in. I make a snowball as big as the base of a snowman and throw it at somebody.
You throw it at Sebastian, and he's completely lost for 5 whole minutes. Oh, bother! Okay, just gonna dig out of this, I guess. It's fine. Be all right. It's okay.
I was the regional snowball champ as a child.
Sure you were.
This does not surprise me. So, Zurabak, your goat people, your new vassals, all, as you come to this cave, they all effortlessly, with goat-like precision and reflexes, jump out of this cave mouth, land in the snow, and just start bounding on down the mountain from incredibly precarious perch to incredibly precarious perch, absolutely unhindered by the snow or the ice or the rocks, seemingly making their way back down to the settlement of Giant's Rest. Do you try to stop them or impede their movement or keep one for yourself? They all do give you a respectful nod before they all head out on their way.
That's all I ask.
Yeah, they all give you a respectful nod, a curt little nod, and then they all bound out, just jumping from precipice to precipice. And then you're just looking at all these fucking dinguses having a snowball fight. Do you join in? No, you don't. You wouldn't. That's not your thing.
I throw a snowball at Zurabak.
I go back into the cave.
Yep. You throw a snowball at Zurabak and he looks at where it hit him and he just walks backwards into the cave until you're done. Oh, God. Okay, so after a few minutes of this lightheartedness, after you do a head count and everyone's accounted for, nothing too bad. Now the work starts. Sebastian and Inga kind of put their heads together like, well, this is a setback. Absolutely. This isn't good. We have a lot of wagons and a lot of things on those wagons that are very heavy, and we have to get through this pass. That's not going to be easy, especially considering all of the extra snow piled on top of it. It's extra precarious, but I think Inga here may have a solution for us, which is good. Yes, well, as I said earlier, when our caravan travels through the frozen tundra to the north, sometimes wheels are not the most effective means of transit. We always keep sleds on our wagons in case, there is deep snow or some other thing we must traverse. So we do have sleds that we can affix to our wagons instead of the wheels. That should make it easier to get through. I do worry about Sebastian Weaver's wagon of wonders, she says with a huge roll of her eyes. It is large, and the axles and spokes on those wheels are things I've never seen before. Yes, that's proprietary technology straight from the College of Everspring. We're going to have to strip them. I'm sorry, what? We're going to have to strip them completely. Yes, and replace them with sleds. Hector, would you be a dear and strip the axles from the wagon of your bard companion? Zurabak, I'm sure you would enjoy the opportunity to deface his property as well, yes?
As soon as she said strip him, I was already going towards it.
Okay, so you guys in short order, one carefully, one recklessly, I assume, rip the wheels off. You start to rip more off, and then someone, who could even put a hand on your shoulder to stop you, now that I think about it? Inga puts a hand on her shoulder and says, dear, that is enough. Would you like to die in these mountains with all of these insufferable people?
No.
That is enough. Come now. Come now. Man, Inga's got the juice. This is good stuff.
I'm just thinking she's like our guidance counselor or something.
Yeah, pretty much at this point. So the halflings finish digging out their wagons, and yeah, they seem to have found this incredibly like modular way to take off the wheels of their wagons and replace them with like runners, like sleds, turn them basically into these, long like bobsleds that are pulled by these dogs. They do the same thing to Sebastian's wagon. It takes a while, much longer than it should. After you get everything dug out and after you get everything refitted for the snow, it is nightfall again. The day is at an end. And you all... Do you guys try to set off again during the night, or do you want to make camp and try to hit it again tomorrow morning?
Does it still reek here?
That's a very good question. The reek did seem to follow the chieftain when she was thrown out into the open air. It does not smell here anymore. Also, if anyone just for fun wanted to ask why that chieftain was smeared with stink jelly, I got an answer for him. Well, so Grimlocks can't see. So having a staff or a totem or a robe or a crown amongst a tribe of Grimlocks to denote your importance would have absolutely no effect. So a Grimlock chieftain would have to find some other way to make their presence known immediately and by everyone, which is stank.
Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll say fucking, I don't know, Sebastian tells you that during your during camping. But yeah, it don't stank here no more. Are you guys gonna make camp for the night? Are you
I
gonna?
believe that would be wisest.
All right, so you guys set up camp.
Probably still use the cave up there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The Hilltopples, the entire clan of them, they get out some wooden boards with some. They get up some makeshift stairs, basically. A couple rope ladders, some makeshift stairs that they just wedge up there for you guys to easily climb up and down. The mounts are left under the care of Helga and Olga, who stay mounted and outside, just scouting the perimeter, looking out for Grimlocks. Sebastian shakes and shivers the entire time, not from the cold, but from the understanding that there are Grimlocks somewhere deeper in this cave. Super not stoked on that. But you guys set a watch, and luckily you beat the Grimlocks' asses so bad that they do not come back out the entire time that you sleep. So, you all wake up the next morning. Preparations, spells, anything like that. Anything we're doing? Are we doing another Endure Elements Zurabak?
I mean, it fell off while we were sleeping. So,
I probably bit a bit.
How much I heal?
well, I probably put Snake next to the fire
I should remember
in
this.
preparation, but
How
other than
much
that,
do you heal from sleeping?
You heal 1 health point per level you have.
Lovely.
I'll prepare it, but not cast it yet.
Okay.
Okay, I have 12 health. Out of 27.
I am now full health because that one heal spell healed for a lot.
As you guys are making camp, Sebastian does walk over to you, Hector, and be like, Hector, I noticed you've taken quite a few hits. Are you well? Do you require medical attention? I do know a little bit of the healing arts as a bard extraordinaire of the College of Everspring.
I mean, the bleeding mostly stopped out of my side, so
Okay. I don't want to look at that anymore. So what I'm going to do is look away, and he puts like the very tip of his finger on like the top of your head. And you get 7 health points back.
okay.
As he casts Cure Light Wounds, which is a spell that bards have.
Thank you. That's better.
Oh, yes, it's better visually for me as well. Think nothing of it. Think nothing of it. I'll try hard not to think anything of it either. So yeah, you guys go to bed, you wake up, you get some healing, you break camp, and you head out on your merry way. So, the road has become even more treacherous than it was before. The high pass is renowned as being another way through the mountains, but a very treacherous way through the mountains, plagued with monsters, avalanches, rock slides, and just the natural blizzards and dangers up here. But as it turns out, the next few days through the high pass seem rather uneventful. You see no other signs of Grimlocks. It would seem that with their chieftain gone and with many of their warriors dispatched in such a violent manner, that they've decided to just fuck off for a while. The blizzard abates after your second day out here, and though the road is treacherous, it is not impassable. Everybody roll me survival checks to navigate this environment. We'll see how much time you lose because of the avalanche. What everybody get on their survival checks?
I got a 17.
That's very good.
I got a natural 20
Oh, damn!
for a total of 27.
Oh, my goodness. In your home court?
Correct.
You don't even sink in the snow. It's ridiculous. Some Legolas shit. What'd you get, Zurabak?
25.
Oh, God. Every time. I can't make random encounters for you fucks.
That's cool. We roll badly on plenty of things, but when you do these, like, hey, you're all doing a skill thing together, we, like, oh, we're all doctors all of a sudden.
Yeah,
We're
triple
like,
synergy bonus. Oh, God. Everyone roll to play an instrument. Okay, that's the most beautiful song anyone's ever heard. Sebastian breaks all of his instruments and he retires. Anyway, yeah, you all... Hector, this is your home turf. You've spent time in the High Pass when you were a child. It's required of anyone that is going to be leading people through the gate, and you guide your party flawlessly through these treacherous environments. Zurabak, where are you at?
Walking.
You're walking, front or back, middle, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We're going to say you're rear guard because you don't give a fuck and you don't want to be around people. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. You are able to, you're able to cover up with your survival skills, kind of cover up the enormous footprint that your party's making. As you guys wander through, you're like, oh my God, they're in snow. Snow just holds tracks. Jeez. Oh my. Okay. All right. You just start, dragging stuff through the tracks you're making. You start like walking backwards and like running in loop-to-loops to throw people off your trail. And you obviously scare off anything that tries to sneak up on
Except the goats.
Except the goats, yeah.
Well, they're in front of you somewhere.
They're always with me in my
they're
heart.
behind us. They went back.
Oh, they went back. Excuse me.
Yeah. You also, Zurabak, just accurately predict the weather for the entirety of the trip. That's where you're coming in. You're like, hey, Zurabak, what's it going to be like? It's going to get 2 snowflakes in 3 days, I think. It's going to be a bit of a chill. Going to want to bundle up. So yeah, you guys are perfectly able to assist your party in navigating this. And Rilla on the top of... Are you on the top of Sebastian's wagon? Yeah.
Yeah, always.
As the spotter, you're able to pick out these big obstacles, these giant like jagged chunk of ice or a big shady looking snowdrift. You're able to spot these things long before the main bulk of your party gets there, and the outriders, and I'm sure Hector at a certain point goes out to deal with the problem before you guys even show up. So with this lovely assembly line, this full coverage, you all with your incredible survival skills are able to guide your party through the pass. The next few days go by without any problems, and blessedly, thankfully, 5 days into your journey through these horrid, frigid mountains where the air is thin, where the wind cuts through all of your clothing, chilling you to the bone, where everything is covered in snow and underneath all the snow is nothing but rocks, finally make it to the far side of the mountain range known as the Gate. Hector, you start to see markers that your people have put here to denote the beginnings of the end of this trail. You start passing by some old, like, giant ruins that have long ago half tumbled down the mountains that you know, okay, this is the marker that we're starting to get to the low country. And you eventually break out of the blast radius of this avalanche, and the high pass at the dawn of like the 6th day going through these mountain ranges. You were slowed a little bit. At the dawn of the 6th day, you see before you a perfectly clear road on a perfectly clear day, a perfectly clear sky leading forward and down, down, down into the far, far distant, but now visible, raging sands. And that's where we'll end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast where we take a deep dive into our player character's psychology, anxiety, frustrations, their deepest desires and hopes, and try to glean some truth from the answers we get from them. In this segment of the show, we like to ask each of our player characters a question and see if we can't gain some new insight into their minds. Today, we have a question given to us by a listener. Our first mailbag, if you will. We have a question that has been sent in by friend of the show, Alex. Thank you very much, Alex. If you have a question to share with our player characters or our dungeon master or really any character on the show, honestly, if you have any questions that you'd like to be read on air, you can email us at challengerating0@gmail.com. Challenge rating, ZER, the letter O, @gmail.com. All one word. So, today we have a question from Alex, friend of the show, who will be featured in, was featured in our Holiday Spectacular. Alex asks, what are you most ashamed of? What are you most ashamed of? What really sours your mood? What, fills you with shame? Pretty straightforward. So we will direct this question to each of our player characters and see what kind of answers we can glean. So let's start with Zurabak. Zurabak, pleasure to have you back in the studio. I say just on reflex because that's starting to become more of a lie every time we do this. Zurabak, what are you holding?
It's a big lizard.
That's a very large lizard, Zurabak. Yes, it is.
Wait. Do the thing. I shake it, and it turns into a druid.
You can't.
See? Do it again. I shake him, and I put him down in the swamp.
Zurabak, you can't bring...
He lives here now.
Okay, all right. So, what do druids specific... I see this is a halfling that turns into a lizard when you shake it, apparently?
He lost a bet.
Okay. So, there's just a druid now living here. Is that what...
Yep.
Are you going to feed him? Because I can't afford to feed a druid. So I don't even know what druids eat.
I look around at the now swamp.
Oh, of course.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, of course. You've built an entire ecosystem for this druid to live in. What's the druid's name, Zurabak?
You'll have to ask him.
Okay, great. Well, in the meantime, while I muster up the courage... Sharon, don't shake it! Sharon! Don't shake it, Sharon! By the gods. All right. Zurabak, the question lies before you. What are you most ashamed of?
Sebastian.
Interesting, but not surprising. So you are most ashamed of Sebastian? Sebastian Weaver, the bard that you are traveling with. Are you ashamed to find yourself in his company? Are you ashamed that you are following him around? What, any specifics on that?
I'm ashamed of his actions.
Interesting. Now, what specifically does he do that fills you ashamed? That he talks too much? That he's sort of a whimpering weakling?
Yes.
Okay. So you are
and that he gets others to do his work.
Interesting. All right. So you are ashamed that this weak little man is going around drafting other people to do his dirty work for him instead of going out and doing it by the strength of his own small gnome arms. Like you would if you had small gnome arms.
I'm very thankful I don't have small gnome arms.
Well, I think your companions are probably thankful of that as well. All right, that's interesting. So you are ashamed of... So watching Sebastian just live his life and do his thing just fills you with shame, deep shame.
Since he clearly has none.
Well, I guess someone has to be ashamed for him, and I guess that's you. So that's quite a burden you've taken on yourself, and I guess we all appreciate that. Something to keep in mind for the future, certainly. All right, so Zurabak is ashamed of Sebastian Weaver and everything he does. Fantastic. Sharon, don't shake it. She keeps shaking it. Do you see what you've done?
That's what he's for.
All right, fine. His name's Shaky. Shaky the Druid now lives in my studio. Stop shaking him. It's not fun. It's not funny, Sharon.
I find it very enjoyable and therapeutic.
Yes, everyone's having a great time. A great time except me. Fantastic. All right, moving on. For the love of God. Rilla Longshadow, thank you so much for stopping by the studio again. We always appreciate your time, and they've got a very busy schedule out there.
Yes. I actually have a question for you first, if you don't mind.
That is unprecedented, and I'm immediately uncomfortable, but I will allow it.
So what did you get for Sharon's birthday?
Why?
Because
Why
it's
would you bring up Sharon's birthday? It's a surprise! Obviously it's a surprise! It's a secret surprise! Why would you bring that up? You know she
I
was
brought a present for her.
Of course you did.
I brought her a bunch of peppermint tea. Ooh.
What do you think Shaky was?
Okay, wow. All right. So you've all just conspired against me, is what I'm gathering from this. Okay. So I didn't realize I was going to be ambushed. Yes, it is Sharon's birthday, and now, yes, she has Shaky and lovely peppermint tea. That smells delicious. Damn you all. What did I get Sharon? I got Sharon an incredible, amazing present that won't even fit in this room, which is why I didn't bring it to the studio because it won't fit. It's really good. Get your hopes all the way up, Sharon. All of them. It's going to be great. And in a quick change of subject, Rilla, Long Shadow, what are you ashamed of? I'm dying to know what brings you shame, Rilla. Tell me, and our listeners, please. Alex is dying to know what you're ashamed of.
Well, it's definitely not my gift-giving abilities.
Okay, great. So now we're all having fun. That's great. Fantastic. All right. So what are you ashamed of, Rilla?
You know, I don't really have a lot of shames I mean, the thing that bothers me the most, or the thing that makes me feel not quite as good at things, I never got enough time with my archery practice due to the whole magic thing. So I really do feel shame when I miss every time we're in battle. That it happens. Deep pang of shame, but in general, for the most part, you know, I'm a sorcerer.
Yep.
You know, I'm pretty great. My whole village was real interested in keeping me safe.
Sure.
But that did
sure.
make me less able to practice my martial abilities.
Right. So your inborn arcane abilities, makes total sense that your village would not want you out there practicing day in, day out with your bow. And as someone that considers themselves an archer, I can understand the sharp pang of
anyone could be an archer. No one else could be a sorcerer.
Sure.
But I wanted to be an archer.
Absolutely. So missing the mark, to sum it up, is something that brings you a little bit of shame.
What a nice way to phrase it.
Well, I do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
Words are all I have. Words in this studio. And Sharon, lovely, amazing Sharon. Yeah, no, shake it. It's your special day. Sharon. All right. And finally, Hektor, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates. Welcome to the studio.
It's a pleasure as always.
Especially on this momentous occasion. I assume you've brought a gift for Sharon as well.
Oh, yes, I see that she actually, with that amazing heart of hers, she actually used some of it on you, the makeup that I got her. You can barely see the bags under your eyes anymore. It's really stupendous work.
This makeup's been a godsend, and you're telling me that you got it for Sharon?
Oh, of course, I know her brand and everything.
Okay. I'm learning a few things about shame myself now. And so the snake's eating its own tail. And all I have held to pay. All the way up! Those hopes, Sharon. All the way. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so Hektor. What are you ashamed of?
You want me to talk about shame?
If you'd be so kind.
I'm Hektor the Gatekeeper. I'm
Keeper of the Gates.
I'm, for lack of a better term, an open book. You know, I wear my heart on my lack of sleeves.
How droll.
There's nothing that I could feel shame
Nothing.
for. No, nothing at all.
Not a single thing that twists you up inside. Nothing.
Look, I know that it doesn't make, like, great television, whatever.
The term it's
The this needs to be.
the term is radio. This is equipment for
turn-
radio.
Can you turn the microphones? Can you turn the microphones off?
You want me to turn off the microphones?
yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Let me just click. There you go.
Okay.
It's off. There's nothing. Don't
Thank you.
worry
No,
about the
that's-
waveforms. It's all
Look,
totally fine.
It's just not something I like to.
Absolutely. Confidentiality is what we're all about here at As the Dice Turns. Just keeping things to ourselves and sharing them with no one. Now, please, what are you ashamed of?
Like, it's just. All right, so like when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
this old blind man who was a fortune teller came through the gates
Right.
and he gave me a prophecy,
Interesting.
and it was scary. You know, and but my mom reassured me. She told me, you know, he's just a swindler trying to scare children. What a horrid man.
Right. Yeah, see, predicting the future is quite a feat. That's not something that would come easily to anyone.
And then that was the summer that I broke my leg.
And
Just as he predicted.
Fascinating.
It was obviously a coincidence.
Right.
But also, it might not have been a coincidence. And maybe they're not. It's not, I mean,
Hector, are you superstitious?
I'm
You're
a
in
man
a
of,
safe. You're in a safe place, Hector. The microphones are off. They're off. So,
Okay.
just be yourself.
I suppose, like a teensy bit, but like, you know, I'm gonna be a hero of legend. People can't know that.
Sure, of
About
course. We wouldn't want that to get out at all, which is why we have not been recording any part of this
Thank
conversation.
you. I really appreciate.
The
The red light
confidentiality.
means that it's off.
That's
right?
the off light. Yes, that is the off light. Yes. So
Why is that going up every time I talk?
that is the silence indicator, and so that is how much silence is modulating up and down, which is a lot in this. Since I turned the mics off, the silence is just going crazy. So yes. All right. Well, that is a very truthful answer. It's a shame we won't be able to get that out to our listeners, but you know, that's sometimes that's how it goes, and as the dice turn. So I appreciate your candor and all of your candor as always. So the question was, what are you ashamed of? And Zurabak is ashamed of the Bard Sebastian and all of his weak, manipulative ways, and Rilla is ashamed when she misses the mark, and Hector is ashamed of his superstitious nature. That part again was off mic. That's not. And I personally am shamed threefold due to my being late getting Sharon's amazing present. Keep shaking it. Yes, it's lovely. It's a lovely addition. Well, that will do it for us here on As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. Sharon and I always appreciate your ears, especially today on Sharon's special day. And until next time, keep those dice
Hey,
turning.
if you're recording, why is the red light back on?
Okay, bye. Hey there, dear listeners. This is Sam, the Dungeon Master, with a little housekeeping here at the end of the show. I'd like to give a shout out to the harp wolf, Danielle Taylor Williams, for the beautiful music she provides for our program, especially our lovely theme song. You can find her music at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She's got a new album out called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? You should check it out. It is very good. Again, that's danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. I'd like to give another shout out to our friends over at the Blinders Off podcast. You can find them at blindersoff.show. They host a lovely introduction to podcasting class that is responsible for this show. They taught me how to make a podcast, and if you'd like to sign up for one of their introduction to podcasting classes, you can get a discount on your tickets on Eventbrite by using the coupon code CAST. That is CAST. Again, if you'd like to go to blindersoff.show and sign up for one of the Blinders Off podcast lovely intro to podcasting classes, you can get a discount at Eventbrite by using the coupon code CAST. That is CAST. If you would like to submit any questions to the show, like our friend Alex did, to be read on As the Dice Turns, you can send an email to challengerating0, that is ZER, the letter O, at gmail.com. And if we like your question, it will be read on the show. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, and you can find us on Twitter, where we are all fairly active. Also, if anyone would like to come out and visit Brian and myself, we are running live events at Apotheosis Comics here in St. Louis. We do a monthly event called Drinks and Dragons, the third Friday of every month, where we pair a local beer provided by Four Hands with a custom one-shot adventure that Brian and I write ourselves. The next one is going to be February 21st. Again, that is at Apotheosis Comics and Lounge on South Grand in St. Louis, Missouri. If you check out the Challenge Rating 0 Facebook page, we have all of our events listed there. And if you'd like to come out and see Brian and myself and play a game run by us, we'd certainly love to see you. I believe that is it. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.